Welcome to the secret live stream. We got our technical difficulties figured out. I think we're good.
I think so. I think we're good. Can you hear us?
It always happens. Every time we have it all figured out, then we're ready to go, and it just bugs out on us. I can't believe there's so many people in here. It's incredible. I definitely.
Oh man, that chat is going wild.
Going a bit crazy. Welcome to my studio, my office. I haven't done a live in a long time. It's been a little while, but I always love live streams.
And if I'm checking my phone, I've sent the link to a few people just to like text me if it's like going super crazy. Broken. So we'll see if it's okay.
The streaming world has changed a lot since I've last live streamed, so bear with us if there's any technical difficulties. Super cool to see you guys all in the chat. I'm curious, where in the world are you watching from right now? I wanna see some of those country names. We just arrived from Philadelphia yesterday. We were with our friend Danny Gevirtz, not really helping. We were just
probably more getting in the way of their main production.
Observing his first feature film being done. Like they're actually producing it right now, filming it. And it's just a super cool story because they are like, he's doing it this new school way, a YouTuber making a feature film. And
so cool.
That I don't know, that kind of encompasses a lot of the things that we are trying to do with this secret company that you have signed up for.
It's almost like a lot of aspiring creators see YouTube as the end game. I just want to be a YouTuber. But I think Danny is really, okay, YouTube's going to be a vehicle for this bigger thing that I want to accomplish in my life, like do a feature film. So
yeah,
very interesting.
And so some of you maybe might have heard that me and Tyler, we just did a podcast on my podcast channel talking about how we've had this kind of like underground mentoring company.
First, look at all the places.
Sorry, I got sidetracked. Yeah, we got Toronto, Belgium, Nigeria, Mexico. Yeah, some Torontos, Austria, Brooklyn, UK, Norway, Cleveland, Colombia, Dominican Republic. So many Paris.
We got some audio issues there, Isaac.
Isaac, the editor, is our audio technician right now, except you won't be able to hear any of the changes you make, so be careful with your changes.
Just slight tweaking.
As you can see, we aren't the most professional live streamers, just trying to figure this out.
Hey, I think this is pretty good.
I think the looks great, right?
We got a chat little thing.
Thumbs up in the chat if the live stream sounds and looks good. I don't know what Isaac's worrying about. I hope it's fine. I haven't checked audio, so.
It's like, you're probably a little bassy, Maddie. Let me
just EQing us a little bit. Just EQing. All right, so we have had this mentoring company that we've kind of kept a secret, not for any like real reason. There just hasn't been any purpose in bringing it out. And so behind the scenes, we've every once in a while we've met a creator that we thought we could help out and help them go further in their careers, help them go full-time faster, help them grow, all of that stuff. And that's what we've been doing already for a good 3-4 years now.
Yeah. It's been that long. And it's not very scalable, like just have the one-on-one. So I think that was the biggest reason why we kept, there was literally no point in telling anybody, because
exactly we literally couldn't take more.
Yeah, Matti was doing his having a full-time YouTube channel and then helping people as well was a more than a full-time gig. So we've only been able to do a few, and for the longest time we've been thinking about like, how could we actually do something. Are we good? Watching.
No, that's just you paused it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You scared me, Tyler. So yeah, for the longest time we've been thinking, what can we do to kind of scale this up? Because there's so many people. We constantly meet new people who are wanting to get into YouTube or are doing YouTube, and some people even like they're already doing well on YouTube, but still kind of struggling. Mm-hmm. It's this kind of like struggling artist syndrome, even in the YouTube world. And so we've been trying to figure out how we can help more of you scale this mentoring company of ours into a bigger thing, and really build this like community.
Yeah,
that's a good word, I think.
When we created this live stream, behind the scenes, we could see all you chatting in the chat, and I was like, this is the kind of experience that we want to help facilitate with creators, connecting with one another. Share. Even some of you were like providing feedback on each other's channels, I think, before this even started. So it's stuff like that I think there's some great insights and stuff like that can be shared amongst a community. And we want to figure out the best way to scale that out.
Really the problem I think we're trying to solve is, if you want to be a YouTuber right now, where do you turn to? Like, what is going to be the thing that enables you to start your channel, to build it, to grow, to have a community to be a part of, all of that stuff. And that's kind of what we're trying to play a piece in solving that problem. It's kind of like when I started my channel, I knew nothing, and I was just trying to make it up as I'm going along. And so it's like, what would I have wanted back then when I was starting? What would have helped me? That's what we want to create for you guys. And on this stream, we're gonna take some questions. From chat. We also asked for some questions to be sent to us, so we have some videos. We'll play the video chats if technical difficulties aren't too bad. And then we're also going to try, so I do this for a lot of the people that we mentor. We've called it just like a channel roast. I think other people have kind of gone by the same name. That's what we've been using for the last 4 years. And so if some of you are willing, we're literally probably only going to be able to do like 1, max 3. So I'd like to maybe try that a little bit, and that's always been like a really good way of learning, I think, for people. You learn a lot in a really quick amount of time. How are we gonna choose a channel, Tyler? I think you're gonna have to be in charge of.
I think what we'll have to do is.
Should we roast Teppo? My brother's in the chat. Teppo, hey, everybody say congrats to Teppo, my brother. He is a new dad. He just had his first kid. So
I think what we'll have to do, we need a channel. Here's what's going on in my night. We need a channel with probably at least over 1,000 subscribers. And probably has been regularly posting.
That's true.
So that there's
and it would even be better if you had maybe 10,000 or something, and feel like it's kind of like stagnant or something like that. So we'll come back to this. What we'll do before we get into the roast, we'll ask you to put your channel name and the number of subs that you have, and then we'll randomly choose for that. I've seen a bit that we might be a little choppy or something like that. One thing you might be able to do is just drop down your quality on your end. So we're streaming in 1080, so it might be too heavy for you. So you might need to drop
keep an eye on that.
Hopefully it's fine. Okay, we'll get to the roasting later on. So maybe we'll roast my brother a little bit, just because
that'll be like the intro roast.
Because the roasting can feel a little harsh at times. It's all from love, but it can feel a little bit harsh.
There's a saying, you roast the ones you love.
Exactly.
So if we're roasting you, it's because we really love you.
And I just, before we get started, I want to say, we've been working very hard behind the scenes. You guys signed up for the beta, and then you guys haven't really heard from us much. And that's just because there's been a lot of very boring work that we've had to do.
The most boring.
Yeah, the most boring, trying to, start the company and figure out, share classes. It's very boring stuff that I don't want to be doing, but we want to do it right. Want to figure this out. And so we've been working tirelessly, and we're getting very close to being able to launch the thing that we're building. I think it's going to be September. We're saying September right now. September is the launch day. So there's going to be more updates, more stuff coming out. This is just a little warming us up, you know.
Yeah.
So my older brother's also in the chat. Mikko, he's part of the company. He's the genius behind like making everything work, and he's just like, hey, programming isn't boring. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Your part, for us, it's been the boring work of trying to get like business stuff down. The lawyer but talk. Also, Mikko, this whole time, my brother has been programming the whole thing for us. We've started from scratch. We were trying to figure out all the best ways to do what we want to do. Like, do we use this product or this thing? And none of it really fit for us.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's just build the whole thing. And maybe that was more than I thought it would be. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot. But it's taken a long time, a decent amount of time. But we've been working tirelessly on this. So
it's gonna be great. So do we want to take some chat questions?
I think we want to do some chat questions. Okay. Yeah. If you have any questions about, we don't want to give away too much yet about what the product is going to be, what the thing is going to be. But if you have any questions around this sphere of YouTube, all of the content creator world, all of that stuff, if there's anything you're curious about, is this chat on the screen distracting for people, or is that good? Is that redundant?
Oh yeah, because they would
see it. They already see it. Thumbs up if you want to keep the chat on the video screen right there. Thumbs down if we can delete that, and then we'll get rid of it. All right, let's see. Okay, oh my gosh, there's gonna be. Okay, how do we get brand deals? I think it's a question that's in the videos also. Oh shoot, what just happened?
I think you clicked on. Something by accident.
Oh, okay. We're good. All good. Oh no. Are we still streaming? No, we're still streaming, right?
Yeah. So that's from your other question.
Okay, thumbs down. Yeah, we can take that out. Perfect. I am going to take that out now. Tyler, can you be in charge of getting some questions for us?
Sure.
While I get rid of the chat box.
We were still live during that time.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I have a question for you, Matti.
Okay.
How to overcome fear of not starting YouTube, especially for those who are not native English, but want to produce content in English?
Okay, first of all, I would say don't downplay doing it in your own native language. For example, I've been following, I'm from Finland, I've been following some Finnish channels, and they get huge views for the amount of subscribers they have. And so there is there's a benefit to being like a more regional channel.
Yeah.
There's a lot of companies that are looking for specific, your demographic of your country. Whereas if you go wider, then you might actually have a harder time getting brand deals or whatever.
It's almost like a way of niching, like finding a particular niche,
choosing a niche. Yeah. What was the first part of the question? How do you get started? That's what it was.
How do you get started?
I honestly, this is like one of the most common things. It's literally just take a step, take any step, whether that's making your first video, whether that's just watching some tutorials to learn how to make a video. Just take one step, and every single day take some steps. And then at some point you're just going to have to, pull the trigger, start a channel, name it probably your own name, and make some videos. And everybody tries to figure out the thing before they start making it, and you can't do that. You just have to start making videos. Like, for example, when I started my channel, I thought my channel was going to be about travel, and that was going to be the main thing, and tutorials were going to be a side thing.
And you were going to do it with a partner.
And I was going to do a partner, and that didn't work.
The face of
it. And then I started posting tutorials, and really quickly I was like, oh yeah, of course, tutorials are the thing. Traveling is the side thing. And then I just kind of went along with that. So just get started on it.
All right. So Michael builds 300,000 subscribers.
Ooh, nice. Congrats.
And what I love about this question is it's regardless of size, I think some people still have the same question.
Yep.
So I've heard this on multiple size channels. How important is consistency of posting over quality of video? My videos are extremely hard to produce once a week, and I'm finding it very hard to upload consistency with quality videos. What's your thought on that?
I don't think there's Okay, first of all, algorithm is constantly changing all the time. And so like the situation's different all the time. One strategy might work really well 5 years ago. Now it works okay. And maybe 5 years from now, that same strategy will again be the best thing. Right now, I think the algorithm favors doing higher quality videos in a way. And I don't mean that like production quality. I mean like really keeping the viewer's attention. It's all about click through. It's all about keeping the audience retention. So click through rate is just YouTube suggests your video, suggested feed. YouTube suggests your video. How many people are actually clicking on your video, your thumbnail? If they're not clicking on it, that video is dead. And so if you're starting out from scratch right now, that's literally all you're trying to do is get people to click on your video and then have them stick around for as long as possible. And so if you put more time into it, you'll be able to make it a little bit more fast paced, more exciting. You'll be able to film in different locations, keep the story going along a little bit better. Whereas right now, if you're just like starting out as a vlogger and your life is like, fairly normal, you're not like a movie star or something, it's probably not going to get anything right now.
I've also heard you say as well, so that's from like the algorithm perspective. I've also heard you say that sometimes it's nice to have a variety of styled content in your portfolio. I don't know why I said that on your channel. Because sometimes if you put out maybe some what you might consider lower quality content, it actually provides some contrast to when you do put out a really good video. And for your hardcore fans, they might still watch your what you think is your lower quality video. And it's nice to have that juxtaposition of, this one is like one of his banger videos. He put a lot of time into this. And then this is more of just like a update or a lifestyle.
So if you're trying to go for bangers only, you're going to run into the problem of you can't keep one-upping yourself. And if they're all bangers, then they're all in the same, it's the same. Like it's just the same thing over and over again. Your audience kind of just like gets numb to the fact that they're bangers. They're just like, oh, it's just another same video, And so you actually, I think, want a little bit of contrast. And there's also a lot of people that, there's channels where like I see their video, I'm like, I just can't handle that channel's video right now because I know I'm going to have to like really think deep or change my life after it or whatever. And I'm just not in the mood right now. Right now, I'm in the mood of just give me a little like little entertainment, little like something interesting, but like I don't want to, and that could be within the same channel, like, a finance channel could have some like, 12 steps to revamping your whole like financial life. And then it's like, I'm definitely not in the mood for that. But like, why the stock market's crashing right now? It's like, oh yeah, I'm curious. Like let's listen in,
Yeah, it's really kind of capturing, almost thinking of your end user moods as well. Yeah. So you might be able to, that might prompt some ideas for you to not get out lower quality videos by like that they're bad or anything like that, but just a different style of video that might not take as much production time.
This is actually a really quick question, but like there's also the problem I'm seeing right now with the algorithm is that it favors this kind of like, it's the Mr. Beast algorithm, right? And the first thing that you're usually going to cut out to kind of like make your video more entertaining or exciting is all of like the personal updates, how's your life, Tyler? Like that kind of like, and so in the short term, you might get more views, but in the long term, you're actually not building yourself a very like strong brand. It's kind of like an empty shell of a brand in a way. And so people don't actually care about that person as much as, if they weren't these like banger crazy videos and they were more like, what's going on in my life, or like you get to know me a little bit more, you'll get attached a lot more. And so a lot of people are just aiming for viral videos right now, especially with TikTok and all that. And they're not even thinking about like, am I even building a brand right now? Am I even building anything that's like worthwhile in the long run? Is there like a company to this, or am I just going for viral hits?
I have another question. James Candlan has a question. how to begin vlogging on a channel that hasn't had vlogs. And I'll expand that question a little bit. How do you pivot to maybe a new topic or maybe a new season in a YouTube channel when either you're bored or you kind of have exhausted all your knowledge of of a particular topic?
So I think one thing we should say, just judging by the videos and constant questions that we get, most questions are asking for a silver bullet. Like they're asking for, it kind of comes from a place of like, I'm doing all the things right, it's not working. What's the one silver bullet to get me there? And actually, it takes a little bit of introspection probably, and like realizing that like, okay, actually, there's some things that I could change. And then all these questions that I'm asking actually kind of get solved by themselves if I like actually make good content and all that. Sorry, what was the
specific question was how to begin vlogging on a channel that hasn't had vlogs.
Yeah.
And
okay. Let's answer from that, because we'll probably get to that stuff. Vlogs are really easy, I think, actually. Like if you're, let's say you're a tech YouTuber, then like just take the tech outside and like, mix in a little bit of like a vlog intro, and you're outside and you're out and about talking about the tech instead of just at your office. And
depending on what type of tech, if it's like a wearable or something like that, don't just show, or you always say show, don't tell. So I wonder if there's something there where it's like, how can I show this in action instead of just telling them that it has 9,000 kilobytes of power? That's an awful.
A vlog isn't like different. You're not like transitioning into a different type of content. It's just a different vessel, right? It's a different way of storytelling. So like you can make a short film, you can make a documentary, or you can make a vlog. A vlog is just one different type of like making videos, and like a talking head video versus a vlog. So it's not, you can use any topic, any niche, anywhere and do a vlog, no problem. But like you still have to have substance in it, just like you have in your other videos. Usually people aren't going to care that much about just like what you're doing,
I think that's one of the things that I've observed that you almost use the vlog as an excuse to talk about something else.
Yeah. It's like looking for easy content almost, or something.
So, or like just as an example, your Saudi Arabia vlog was about switching Premiere to Final Cut. So it's like you want to talk about something and you just happen to be doing this thing, but the main video is still on something else that might be.
When I vlog, I do the exact same like preparation for the video. I still come up with like what I want to talk about. What's the purpose of this video? Right now we were just in Philadelphia with Danny, and I was vlogging with the film set and all that, and I still had like kind of like bullet points of like things I want to cover throughout the day in order to tell the story. Now the vlog, I don't know what's going to happen in the vlog in terms of like what we're doing and all that stuff, and that doesn't even matter, but I know as long as I have like my story, my points covered, then there's substance to the video in the end. So like nothing really changes, you're just changing the vessel.
So it's 3:30. Got started a little late. Maybe one or two more questions on chat, and then we'll jump into the video questions that were submitted. By the way, thank you to everyone who submitted video questions. I think we had over 100 submissions. So we were combing through those, and we chose some of the questions that were representative of a lot of questions that were submitted. So even if yours isn't selected, I'm hoping that it was a question or a similar question that you might be asking yourself. There was a lot of themes in the questions.
And also just like noticing how many questions there are. Like we could be here all day long answering questions. And like this is exactly what we're trying to solve for, is like, everybody has questions. Everybody could learn from each other, and we are trying to solve for that.
There's
should we go to the video questions, or
let's do one more chat question. I just saw some chat discussions around age. Is it, we had some people saying they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s. Is it too old? Like, can you be too old to start YouTube?
I don't think so. We just had Sean from My Self Reliance on the podcast a few weeks back, and he's in his 50s,
I believe. Yeah,
and I think he's only been doing it for a few years. So like, he literally like went through his whole career, built a business and all that, and then all of a sudden started a YouTube channel. And like, I don't think that makes any difference, but there has to be a reason for why people are going to watch your channel. So like, you know, you kind of have to find your demographic, your audience. And like, if you're 60 years old and you're watching, you know, channels where the people are 20-year-olds, then like you probably won't be able to do the same things for that same audience, because the 20-year-olds probably aren't going to be, you know, as interested. But, you know, Sean, My Self Reliance, he's got crazy experience living off the grid. He's just living an interesting life. One of the easiest ways to make a channel is to just live an interesting life and document that. Like, it's a guaranteed. You do van life, you live off the grid, and you tell those stories in a captivating way. Like, done, easy.
I think one of the dynamics that are happening is, I think people in their 20s, or let's say younger folk, they understand the technology that it takes, maybe the production value, what people want as far as what looks like YouTube content. But our older folk, and I'll include myself in that as well, I think, or maybe I won't because it sounds arrogant, but I think our older folk have some great wisdom and insight.
Totally.
You have the experience, the insight to whatever your particular niche is, more so than maybe some of our younger folk. But I think the difficulty lies for maybe some of the older folk is the technical side of things, just because probably didn't grow up with digital cameras and stuff like that as much as obviously the kids growing up nowadays. So there might be just more of a steeper learning curve as it relates to some of the technical side of things. But the content wise, you probably have more content to share than maybe some of our younger folks, not to
but also like
create a division or a war between ages.
you probably have tons to offer, and you want to go with something that you know a lot about. For example, one of our friends, and if you want to learn about finances, Bitcoin, all that stuff, crypto, incredible dude. He had the strategy of, like, I think he had 3 different channels going on when I first found him or saw him or met him. And one was about filmmaking, because he was like learning filmmaking. He was really interested in that. He wasn't a filmmaker. He was a CTO at Ericsson. So he's like, you know, like been high up in the business world. And then one was about like Bitcoin, and one was about finance. I think those were the 3. And I was like, man, why are you doing a channel on filmmaking? Like, you haven't been a filmmaker all your life. That's not your area of expertise. You're interested in that. That's okay. But like, don't go into that. Quit that. That's done. Use those skills, use that interest in your channel. The Bitcoin thing, a little bit, I think that's a little bit too small of a niche. Finance, like, that encompasses everything that you have so much wisdom and knowledge, like, put that in there. And then all of a sudden now he has, I think, over 100,000 subscribers or something like that, like, and just destroying it. So don't go with something that, like, you've been, you know, a carpenter all your life, and then you're like, I'm going to make a filmmaking channel. Like, you're going to fail for sure, almost.
Just one final question from chat, just because I've seen it here. What's with all of these Telegram things? Did I actually win something from Matti?
Oh, no, man, yeah.
Those are spams. Report those comments.
Every channel has those right now. Those are bots. Like, I think this is actually like a way bigger issue than any of the social media companies lead on to. Is there's a lot of bots on every single social media platform right now. So. Okay,
let's get into some of the video questions that were submitted.
All right. Let's see if our technical difficulties are the audio is going to be a little bit bad, but hopefully you guys can bear with us.
Hi, Matti. I have 2 questions. My first one is, how do you niche down? I have so many interests that I find it hard to kind of pick one topic. Should I do one a quarter, once a month? How do I break that all down? I like books, I like lifestyle, I like filmmaking and food. So how can I incorporate all of those things into one YouTube channel? And my second question is, how do you come up with your titles? Thank you so much.
Okay, great questions.
Great question.
And first off, I would say, don't try to put them all into one channel, like, especially in the beginning. Like, later on, I think that the best strategy is to choose one niche that you're really passionate about and really good at. It has to be those two things. It can't be that you're just really passionate about it and you kind of suck at it, or that you're really good at it and you're like, you hate it. Like, because the passion has to be there, because you're going to be working hard a lot, and you're probably not going to make any money in the beginning, and it has to like push you through.
Usually when you're starting YouTube, you still have your full-time job and all that. So the passion with minimal reward to start has to, you have to just be enjoying talking about it.
And then you have to be super good at it, like really good at it. And that's going to make it way more interesting. And so I would argue that you are not the best at all of those things, right? So like, choose the thing that you're the best at and the most passionate about, and stick with that niche. And then later on, you can kind of like broaden horizons a little bit. Like, you know, let's say your channel is about, food, and you also like to travel. Well, okay, we're going to start doing some travel episodes, and we're going to, do some travel stuff, but there's also going to be food involved. And so like, it still fits. But also, a lot of people make the mistake of starting a filmmaker channel right now just because they're into filmmaking a little bit. Like,
or they like cameras.
Yeah, or like the camera. You can make any channel. If you're into filmmaking, you're good at it, you can make any channel. Like, choose something else. I would say, like, you're really into cars. Like, use that filmmaking skills in that car genre. Don't try to battle out in the filmmaking genre unless you are a seasoned pro filmmaker, or you have some really unique angle to the filmmaking genre or whatever. But not just because, like, I have some cameras, I should review them, or
Steve Antonioni's a good example of that. He's interested and had cameras as a hobby, but he was a finance guy, so he used that skill, and I think he stands out a little bit in the personal finance niche because of that. Just to use you as an example, I think whether you realized it or not, you started in a niche around just teaching filmmaking. And then I think over maybe 6 months, a year and a half, people are like, oh, I actually think I like this guy. He seems like a cool dude. I wonder what else this guy is up to. And that's when you can kind of expand into some of the other pieces of your life that you're interested in. And you have a bit of a following who are interested in, obviously, the content that you taught them, but also interested in you as a person.
And the things that I'm interested in. And so I might make a Tesla video, but that's because I've slowly branched out into like tech world and whatever. Would I make a review on, like whatever other car? Probably not. But the Tesla kind of like fit that slot of like, I was really into it. It's tech. It's interesting for me. And I think for a lot of other people. And so
to answer Maya's question, or at least provide some nuance to it, it might be niching down to start your channel, but with the goal of if people like you and like what you have to say about your particular niche, you might actually find that there might be a time where you can actually expand your niches.
Just because you're interested in something doesn't mean you have to like incorporate it in your channel. Not everything needs to be content in your life.
That's true. You can have some personal time just to yourself, reading a book, and you don't have to worry about making a YouTube video.
You can be into filmmaking and not have to include that. And what was the titles and thumbnails? Was there like a little bit?
So she asked about titles, but there is another question about titles and thumbnails. So we'll save that one.
Okay, we'll save that one. All right, let's go for the second question here.
Hey Maddie, this is Bill Olson coming at you from Charleston, South Carolina. And my big question for becoming a YouTuber is, how do you start getting legit sponsorships on your videos and people to start sending you cool stuff like one wheels that you can ride around? And then second part of the question is, when are you going to come visit Charleston? Because I'd love to ride one wheels with you and make a video. Hope you picked my question, and thanks for doing this for us.
Okay, great question. This one we get a lot. Brand deals, if you're not getting brand deals right now, it probably means that you're not at the right level yet. That would be my automatic gut reaction. It means that you haven't gotten to a place in your channel and your brand where other people want to be a part of your brand. And that means that either the content's not that good yet, or your channel is just not quite big enough yet. You haven't been doing it long enough. Your content might be fine, but you only have 2 videos on your channel. like brand deals, nobody that I know, it's pretty rare, I would say, that they're successful in YouTube and struggling to get brand deals.
Right. Yeah, there's I would say a lot of your brand deals have been inbound, meaning we open up your email inbox and it's almost just combing through the opportunities. So when a lot of people ask about approaching brands to get sponsorships, from Matti's perspective and most YouTubers that we know, that's very rare. That's very rare. There might be a few opportunities that maybe like Matti went to the Red Bull Formula One race in Montreal with Red Bull, and that was something that we were like, is there any opportunity here for Matti to vlog this?
Yeah.
But I think the original even contact came from Red Bull from inbound. So
exactly.
So yeah, I think I wouldn't spend time trying to pursue brands. I would spend that time making your content, trying to make it as best as possible, and then make sure your email is visible. Maybe in your description, always have your business email or whatever you want to call it for people to come out to you pretty accessible. Yeah. And maybe it's just marketing around that to make sure that your email is visible.
And I would say if you are starting to get more successful with your brand, your channel, and you're still not getting them, then make maybe some videos around the products that you like, and they'll probably notice it. You can reach out to brands for free gear, but again, that kind of means that you already have some sort of established, audience or quality or whatever, and then they'll be down for it. If you're not already getting some of those, at least you're probably not gonna, just from a cold call or cold email, you're not gonna get anything. So just focus on the content first, and then all that other stuff kind of follows. Also, Charleston, really nice. It's a sweet place.
I've never been, but I've seen pictures.
It's beautiful. All right, let's go to the next question here.
Just got 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. I have a good name, I think, called The Car Creative, where I focus specifically on automotive content and teaching people how to do that. But I feel like I'm getting limited in my niche now, and I'm debating switching to my name, Alex McInnes. What are some tips that you might have when you switched from Travel Fields over to Matti Haapoja? What were some of the kind of must-do things or tips to transition to your name?
What's good?
Great question. I feel like, wait. Let's get back there.
There we go.
Great question. So I actually did this early on in my career. I was Travel Fields when I started. I thought I was going to be a travel channel and filmmaking, teaching filmmaking around travel. And then I realized that it was kind of just pointless for me to go that specifically in that niche. But more importantly, what I was thinking about when I switched to my name was I didn't know how long I'm going to do YouTube. And so I wanted to build a brand that would go with me wherever I go. Whatever I do next, if I start a company or I did this or that, then my name comes with me. Whereas if I'm Travel Fields and I stop that, then that's just the end of it. And I can't carry that on to the next company or next thing that I'm doing. But what I would say is if you're changing the name or anything like that, do not change your content. Your content can't change along with that. It should be the exact same content. Maybe you're slowly gonna niche out, but if you feel like claustrophobic in your niche or something, I don't think the name change is gonna fix that in any real way.
Yeah, I would take the turning the Titanic approach to if if you do eventually want to expand your content, maybe the name change is one of a subtle first step to that. But yeah, I wouldn't do a video where my whole channel is changing. Because you might alienate the following that you currently have. So I would maybe it's even your channel name with your personal name for 6 months or a year, and then maybe you just fully transition into your name. If it's just a logo that you have now, maybe transition to the name of your channel with your face as the logo, or as the logo at first with your name, and then slowly.
I would always have a face in the little avatar. I wouldn't do logos. Logos are very generic in a way and not recognizable. Faces are always recognizable. And it's interesting. I would have, before, when I started, I would have always said start with your name. Don't choose like creative visuals or something for your channel name. But now we're in this phase of social media where it's actually less about the creators and more about the content. And that's why we're seeing a lot of channels that aren't the name of the person. They're something else, you know. And I don't think that that's gonna last. Actually, I think that the long term, you know, like I you know, compare like a Casey Neistat versus like a Mr. Beast. Right. I would imagine that most people, if you could somehow like superimpose the two, you would feel more of attachment to Casey than to Mr. Beast. Right. Mr. Beast might hold your attention a little bit better, might make you want to click on that video. But in the end, when you think about it, you're like, I feel better, or I feel more inspired, or I feel more attached, or whatever you want to say, to Casey's videos. Right. Because it's tied to him as a person, whereas Mr. Beast is just about the thing that's happening. I don't know anything about Jimmy himself, you know.
Yeah. I think too we have just some arguments in the chat, which means it's good stuff. But logos not recognizable versus faces. I think I came from a marketing background, and I remember there's such an emphasis on logos, which logos are recognizable, but I think in this personal brand space, scientifically, I think even faces are one of the most recognizable things. So at a glance, you see Matti's face. I think that's quicker to the human eye than
to prove this point. I literally have seen people comment on my videos, and then we've had a meetup, and I recognize that person. I would never ever have any idea logo like who this person is, you know. Yeah. And so I think there's a lot more brand value. You can put your logo in your banner or wherever else, but like I would keep the
little thumbnail.
Yeah, thumbnail too. Who do you miss most, Mr. Beast or Casey? Yeah, Mr. Beast is still going.
All right, next question.
All right, let's do the next question here.
Matti, this is Brian Olsen from South Africa. My question to you is it better to prep word for word when you do your videos, or do you do bullet points and you just go off the cuff? What I've discovered with myself is that I have to do kind of something in between those two. I write a lot of my opening dialogues, and then my points, I kind of just go off the cuff with like very important points that I read. So what's your advice?
Good question.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't realize that most YouTubers script out their videos in some way. Now, everybody does this. Everybody we've talked to, everybody does it differently. But they have some sort of like way of doing it that they kind of do the same way. For me, it's literally I come up with video ideas, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this video idea, and then I start writing a whole bunch of stuff around that, and then I'll kind of organize the ideas. But they're just bullet points. It's not like word for word what exactly I'm going to say. It's not, I don't even plan necessarily like this will be shot outside or whatever. I just write down what I need, like what's on my mind, what I need to get out. And that's it. But then some people, they'll even go as far as having a teleprompter and reading them, which I think is much harder to do naturally, but you can learn it and all that. I think that the specifics aren't important. I think it's just important that you do plan out your video and that there's like a clear story to it before you even start shooting it. It's going to save you so much time shooting it, editing it, and then you're going to for sure have a decent video at the end of the day.
I would experiment too. If you're unsure, if you're a bullet person or a script person, I've been doing this in my very small channel. My first few videos, I scripted out word for word and realized that was actually making my recording process way too long, because I'd be like, oh, I missed that. Yeah. I then transitioned into bullet points, and then I realized I was rambling too much. So now I have this like hybrid that I'm working with which works with my brain, but I think you're much more scripted than I would be. But I think experimentation, especially if you're just starting out, is probably good to find your specific thing, but do have a plan for your video.
I like just having the plan, because then you like have a safety, and then when things happen, you go with the flow. But like have a plan, have something that you're, that's going to keep you consistent.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. Next question.
In my relatively short life, I've tried a lot of stuff, and I've started from zero over hundreds of times. And I've never really had an issue with self-esteem or approval. So why is it that when I'm starting YouTube from zero, it suddenly becomes so much harder? This unjustified fear and embarrassment have stopped me from trying for several years. If I had a few hundreds of subscribers, the situation might be different, but I recently got my first one, and I got a long way to go. So my question to you is, why is YouTube different, and how did you handle this? Thank you.
Oh, this is an interesting question.
Yeah.
I've never really thought about it, like if it is even different or not. I guess there is a bit of like there's all these strangers kind of voting whether or not they like your video.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes it. But there's a really, I think part of this, I think, is that YouTube is still so new. Like if you were to say to pretty much anybody like, oh, I'm studying to become a doctor, the universal reaction would be like, oh, that's great. Like you are going to be successful. You must be really smart. Good choice. Mm-hmm. If you say, I'm going to become a YouTuber, that reaction is all over the place, right? And I think that's the problem, is that we're still so early in the YouTube world that it's not even like a legitimate career. It's not a legitimate thing that you're doing, so that you're literally embarrassed to for your family to know that you're doing YouTube, you know? So like, one of the people that we mentored, Dan Becker, he's like a hiker, backpacker channel, great guy, super talented. And he was telling on the podcast, I think it was, how he would literally in the beginning, he would wait for his wife and kids to be out of the house. He'd quickly set up the lights and like film his video. As soon as they come, like close it all up and like, not doing anything, like completely hiding it. So I think there's like many aspects to it. Probably also one is that it's like almost like acting or something, where it's like, it's very, you're putting your work out there, and that's what's, there's nowhere to hide.
I really related to this question on a different angle from what you're sharing, with a bit of a marketing background. I found it really easy to build other people's brands through logo, through figuring out mission, vision, values, all of those things. And I think what happens when it comes to YouTube is you almost have to ask yourself brand related questions. What's my mission? What's my visions? What's my values? What do I know? What do I don't know? And I think there can be, depending on what your niche is, a lot of self-reflection to know what your value is that you're bringing to your niche, that I think for somebody who might be a little more introverted or a thinker or something like that, you don't want to just jump into it cold feet or whatever the expression is, without having done some of that thought. And I think it's good that it's serious. Like I want to do YouTube. I want to make sure that I'm providing value. So it might take some time of like some self-reflection, or going through like what are some of my unique value propositions that I can bring that no one else can bring. And then once you feel confident in that, it might be easier to flick on the camera at least. Yeah. The other question,
don't get stuck. A lot of people take that too far, and they're like archiving videos and like never,
Yeah. And I think that's very true. I think I started my channel much later than I realize now that I should have, because I was thinking too much.
Yeah.
Having said that, you talked about face. The previous question was face versus branding.
Yeah.
If this guy is easier about building brands, and you want to start, maybe just create a brand for yourself that isn't you or isn't your face quite yet, just to maybe overcome that first hurdle that gets you to start things. And then once you realize that everything's okay, your family still loves you, all of those things, maybe then flip it to your face and your name, and then it might feel less. But the goal is just to get started, I think, as well.
It's interesting because like I would have thought that I would have been very embarrassed to start a YouTube channel, and I wasn't that embarrassed. I'm super introverted and all that.
Yep.
I'm sure that there was a little bit of it, but I wasn't like hiding it or anything like that. Yeah. And maybe that's just like I had a more like gradual transition into it or something like that, that I was already making videos and it was just a matter of me getting in front of the camera versus behind the camera.
I think that's a good point you're making, whether you realize it or not, is this was an extension of your business.
Yeah.
Whereas I think for a lot of people starting a YouTube channel, it's an extension of their personal,
their life, you know?
And I wonder if there's maybe a lesson there to think of it a bit more professionally.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually been a big switch for me is it's more a networking tool for me, some of my content. And I'm not, so if some of my friends make fun of me for it or whatever, it's like, well, it's not geared for you. I'm not giving you a life update. I'm sharing for small business help and stuff like that. So
exactly.
Great question. I really like that one. We'll get to another question.
Yeah, let's do another question. We should probably do the roast soon too.
Yeah, this time is flying
we were planning
by.
to only do like an hour. We want to do more of these. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more opportunities for this kind of stuff. This is just like a warm up. Let's take one more question from here, and then maybe we'll do some roasting.
Yeah, let's do it.
Is Depo still here? Depo, if you're still in the chat, are you okay if we roast your channel a little bit? All right, let's do one more question.
Hey Matti, this is Tristan from Orange County, California. Now, I'd like to think I have a significant subscriber count on my channel, but the views just aren't reflecting right now. And a lot of people say, if you're passionate about it, then the numbers shouldn't matter. And this is something that I am passionate about. But I think to a certain extent, numbers do matter because I feel like numbers are the only metric that truly get us the opportunities that we want. And this is something that I want to do for a living. So what would be your suggestion on not letting the numbers get me discouraged, but still succeeding on the platform? Hi, Matti.
All right, there's a lot to unpack on that one. That's a hard one. Where do we start?
Numbers as feedback from your audience versus numbers affecting your passion identity.
So, okay, I fully agree with you. Numbers do matter. Like all this, like I think that if you're just like, oh, if I'm passionate and numbers don't matter, I think that's like that's just like a cop out to like my videos aren't doing well, so like it's okay. I'm just passionate about it, you know. Like so numbers do matter in terms of like if you're trying to do YouTube as a business, if you're just trying to do it as a hobby, then who cares? If you're trying to do it as a business, of course the numbers matter. Now they not matter to an extent. Like if I'm getting 100,000 views on a video versus 50,000 views, probably doesn't matter that much. If I'm getting 5 views versus 3,000 views, that matters a lot, right? So if you're not getting views, that simply means you are not making good content. Unfortunately, it's that simple. For whatever reason, whatever good content is, you're not making it right now.
And to maybe soften that a little bit. Good content.
No, don't soften it.
Good content in terms of what YouTube algorithm
playing the game of YouTube.
Good content.
You might be making beautiful short films, but it's just it doesn't fit for YouTube. You need an intro. You need some like explaining. You need a different angle on that. And so I do think if you're doing YouTube, if you're doing social media, you are creating for other people. That doesn't mean that they're going to dictate everything you do, but the thing that you want to create, you have to now dial it in so that other people would actually want to see it.
Yeah.
Like you can't be a feature film director and just want to make my art. Like you have to make a movie that's going to be good that people want to watch, right? Like otherwise nobody's going to hear your voice at all, you know? But then, so I would say if numbers aren't paying the bills, then it's focus on the content, make better content. If they're paying the bills, but like your numbers have dipped or you know, gone all over the place, that doesn't matter as much. And that's when I would say like just be grateful that you have a really cool job of making YouTube videos. And like if you were making, $5,000, you need $3,000 to live and you're making $6,000 last month and this month you're making $4,000. Like I wouldn't be too worried about that. You don't always need to be going up and up and up and up and up. There's a lot of things. YouTube is a game. And we don't know what the rules are. There's a lot of things that I know about the game of YouTube that I don't do because I just don't like that. You know, I know if I did that, I'd probably get some more views. I'd probably make some more money. I could slap an ad on every single video of mine, but actually I don't want to. Like, it makes me enjoy YouTube less. So I'm okay with making less money. That's fine, you know?
Yeah. I think there's, on one end, you have kind of what you're interested in, your passion. On the other end, you have the end user, the end viewer, and there has to be some overlap of what you're passionate about and what the end user is passionate about. And I think whatever your uniqueness that you bring to your niche, that overlap should be what you're sharing.
Yeah.
And I think if there's not a lot of overlap between the two, then I think that's going to be tough. And I think there's going to have to be some self-reflection to be like, hey, maybe I do need to consider the end user, my audience, a little bit more on what they would benefit from me and my insights than just fully doing what I want. If that's what you want to do. I think if you're considering it, like you said, Matti, more as a business, you can look at your audience as your customers and how can you best serve your customers.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, if you fully go on what your customers want, you will never get innovative either.
Yeah.
So there will always be a bit of risk in maybe doing something a little bit outside of your of what your audience wants, but it might actually be something that hits and they like, and they would never ask for it because they never knew that.
Yeah.
So
the problem is that I say all you have to do is make good content, but that is the most nuanced like sentence ever. Like, what good content could mean, you know, having a vlog family channel that's really like, you know, gets you into their lives, like Bucket List Family. Good content could be, you know, kind of like boring financial videos that are just very informative, or like Lex Friedman, like his podcast is very boring, but the information is very interesting to people, and so he has a YouTube channel, a podcast that like works, you know. And so there is no one thing that fits for everybody, but you do need to be self-aware that like if you're not getting views, then like, okay, what can I do better? How can I connect to people better? How can I make this more entertaining? How can I make my titles, my thumbnails a little bit better? Play the game, maybe not all the way if you're not comfortable with it. Like, I don't play the game all the way on things like titles and thumbnails, and that's okay. But yeah, if you're making good content, you will grow on all the social media platforms, basically. Tristan, I think you're here. If you're okay, should we roast his channel?
He just
asked the question.
Sure.
Tristan, give us a thumbs up or down if you're down for that. If not, it's okay. We won't feel. Should we? I don't know. Did my brother say he's here? Should we roast him anyways? He's here.
So we can do a quick roast on Teppo, and then.
Tristan here. I mean, did he give us a? It almost helps more if we. Yeah, Tristan said sure. It almost helps more if we roast people that actually have grown a little bit, because that'll, you know, you'll always see that they're doing a good job, and then we can even pick, you know, some holes at. Okay, is Tristan's? Is it just his name?
Yeah, that would be his YouTube title.
Nope, it's not coming up. Tristan, what's your channel name? Or did I write it wrong? I typed it right? Tristan, what's your channel name? I hate the delay. Okay, I'm gonna get my brother's channel up and ready here too, so we can roast him. Teppo gets the deep grilling here. Why isn't it coming up? What the heck? What the heck, YouTube? Literally not coming up.
You have Irwin. It's V.
Oh my gosh, I typed it wrong. I'm an idiot.
There we go.
My bad. Okay. All right. Let's see how. And I will preface this with or Tyler, we don't know everything about YouTube. These are just our opinions. This is not take it or leave it, you know. But yeah, we've seen a lot of channels, and like I think we can help out a little bit. Okay, so yeah, you guys can see the channel here. I'm gonna put the mic kind of close, so if we do end up watching some videos, so banner stuff like looks cool. It doesn't. I don't think it really matters too much on a YouTube channel.
I would say, at least looking at his titles and thumbnails, the banner doesn't exactly match.
I do think there's like you might need to update that a little bit. You probably haven't even looked at it. I haven't updated my banner in years either. So
it's like the last thing that.
But that's why I said I don't think it matters that much.
And if he's camera gear, vlog, and text, maybe have a nice picture. That kind of proves that.
But your little like avatar thumbnail is great. I like that. It pops. If I see that anywhere, I'm gonna recognize it again right away. Okay, let's go. We'll go to the videos. We'll try to do this. I guess we'll see what happens. So let's look at overall titles and thumbnails right here. I think there's some good ones, and then there's some ones that could use some work. So here's what I'm looking at. I'm essentially comparing these to a lineup of YouTube videos. Even though we don't have a lineup right now, these are all just Tristan's videos. But let's assume that any one of these was in a lineup with other YouTube videos. On
your homepage, you're like, okay.
And so like, what are these telling? So for example, this one right here that you guys can't actually see my cursor, but this one, I can't, from that, thumbnails are very small. From that small thumbnail, I can't tell what that thumbnail is. I don't know what's in there. I don't know.
Which one? Sorry, I was looking at
this one right here. Yeah. This is the double-sided mic, right? I'll get it to. Oh no, my computer's this one right here. Okay. I don't know what that is. If I just saw that thumbnail, I don't know what that is. Now, the title does help a little bit, but I feel like the thumbnail isn't going to stick out from the lineup, and I wouldn't be drawn to it, and therefore I wouldn't even read the title then,
right?
Because I wasn't drawn to it. Now, there's ones like over here on the other side, this Photoshop versus YouTube. Now that's going to get my attention a little bit more, but I feel like there also could be more contrast. Maybe the background could be brighter or something, catch my attention a little bit better, more saturation, something like that. And for the record, I edit my thumbnails completely different from how I would edit like Instagram photo of like what I think is nice. I'm trying to catch somebody's attention and get them to watch. And we can also kind of look at like, so you look at views, it's like 200, 200, 800, 200, 200. And then there's this one with 8,400. And right away, that out of all of these thumbnails, this one right here by far catches my eye the best.
Yep.
And that's not an accident. And so it almost didn't even matter. Like this video title is kind of random. Like it's kind of a niche subject in my opinion. But that thumbnail is just so good that I think that's why this video got views. So a lot of these thumbnails, you might even be able to now go back and change some of them and get way more views on them. This one works for me.
I think there's a busyness factor that I didn't realize that goes on in a lot of thumbnails that you just watching how you edit your thumbnails will like edit out a bunch of stuff that might be natural in your office setup or whatever, but you know, if there's a picture hanging on the back wall, you might edit that out so the wall is fully white, or whatever color the wall is. And I think in a lot of Tristan's thumbnails, there's a lot of busyness going on in the background. So I don't know if it's either photoshopping, or
just making it brighter, or there's different techniques, contrast, all of these things that might kind of like blend the background into more of like an even thing. That's not, but then it's like, okay, what's the thing that I'm supposed to be looking at here?
I know you're talking with one big YouTuber who had a big black drape all across his studio, and he realized that YouTube preferred lighter, brighter
overall,
backgrounds to titles. So he was getting all new drape, white
replacing
drape.
his black background with a white background just so he could have white background thumbnails
for his thumbnails.
Yeah. Just so they would pop more because of just like the overall brightness of the thumbnail. Now you don't have to go that far. You don't have to always have a white background, but what makes it pop? So there's a whole bunch of things that you can do.
And I think the one that he has 8,000 views on does pop.
Exactly. It's not a white background, and that one pops. It's got a really cool
and there's a
vibe
simplicity to it as well.
Yeah, it's clean, simple. Now, like the title could be maybe that's a good title. I think that's kind of an interesting title. Let's click on this video. If my computer can. Oh, there we go.
All right.
Okay. So the digiphoto. So you're highlighting a specific gimbal vest. Maybe that's good to get some, if people are searching for it, but I feel like that's a pretty niche product that might not even help. And it might actually be distracting in this case, to have that, because, I might just kind of, I don't really know what that thing is. So I'm not going to watch this video. Let's watch a little bit and let's see what comes up.
This box right here. Yeah, this box. It's been sitting in the same spot for about 3 weeks, and honestly, what's in this box intimidates me. Anytime I brought myself to open it, I'd find an excuse not to do it, and I put it right back.
Oh, these are good hooks.
What's the excuse, you might ask? What does every grown man in America do to procrastinate? He plays Mario Kart. Or I may play fetch with my girl Dizzy. Ready? Get your ball. Bring it here.
So I'm gonna stop this right here because I like this a lot, but if I was clicking on this for the purposes of like the gimbal, I might have already clicked out because like you haven't talked anything about the gimbal. There's nothing related to right now. I'm not seeing anything. I know where this is going, but right now I haven't. There's nothing to the gimbal. And so like if I was specifically coming here for that title, I might have clicked out. If I'm coming here for just like a casual entertainment bit, this might have kept. So like you want to think about things like that, but this is really nice quality and like great storytelling.
I wonder the storytelling's good, and I like the box kind of
the aspect ratio.
Yeah, the aspect ratio, but also the intro.
Oh yeah, the intro, yeah.
But I wonder sometimes in our artsiness we can push the envelope a little bit too far, and so I wonder if showing, because there's the actual product in the title, and you might be getting more search hits for people searching that particular thing. These people might be a little bit more selfish in that I want to get right to, or they might be fine with an intro like this to show that you're actually a filmmaker who knows their stuff.
It could also be that this video did really well because this intro was so good. So like it could be the exact opposite of what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say here is that like you're expecting us to watch this for so we're at 45 seconds now. And this is all great stuff, but you're expecting me to watch over a minute of stuff before you actually get to the gimbal. I assume that's yeah. So now you get to the gimbal. So you're expecting that everybody's going to stick around for a minute to get to like the actual like content, the thing that they might have clicked on, and they might not be sticking around for that minute, and you might have lost them. And so what can you do? Well, maybe you could like, for example, that thumbnail, maybe you could have a really cool clip with you in the vest, and they're like, this thing's ridiculous. And then you go into that little thing, even though it seems a little counterintuitive because you're kind of like, what's in the box? Like that's kind of like the thing that you're playing there. Something like that might help you then carry you through like, oh, this is also really cool, this little bit that he's putting here. Or it might just be cutting that down to 30 seconds. So you're not losing, you're not making them watch a minute. It's only 30 seconds of cool stuff.
So we got an 1 minute to the box, an opening. Is there a way to tell that exact same story in 30 seconds?
Get there faster, yeah.
Something like that.
But what's inside this one
And I would argue that this video is doing well because this is good storytelling right now. I am intrigued. I am curious. But can you make it a little bit better? Could it have gotten 100,000 views? Probably.
Hey, what's good, YouTube? Tristan here, back with the Thanos. Before we start, I do want to thank Digital Photo.
And then on top of that, still a sponsor. So like that's another just chance for me to click out and be like, oh, this is just a sponsor video. Oh, this is, and like maybe you need to pay the bills. That's fair. But maybe there was a better way of doing that, or again, always evaluating like what can I do better? How can I make this content better? That's all we're trying to get at here. But super cool video. I assume you're gonna go through the vest here, and yeah, this is a great video, I would say. Yep. But again, you can always make it better.
Can we go back to his channel and maybe choose one that to juxtapose? Unless you're still going.
Let's just go through.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go through. What I like to do always is go through. My computer is not liking all this apparently. Okay, so this I like to then like if a channel is like decently sized, I like to go through the description because that tells me a lot about how you're running your business. And this is like classic great example right here. These 3 lines right here below I wish I could, so these 3 lines right here. So there's actually 3 lines and you don't even have anything on that middle line. Plus your first line is hashtags, which could be anywhere in your description. They don't need to be there. And then your second one is just your title again. This is like, this is the equivalent of buying a billboard and throwing up your, just like some random stuff on there.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with anything. These could be handy for SEO or something, who knows, algorithm gods. But you just totally wasted your billboard right there. That could have been the link to the gimbal vest, the vest. I assume that would be like number 1. That could have been a link to your Instagram account. Whatever you're trying to push, the most important things should be in these first 3 lines right here. Do not waste these first 3 lines.
That's why if you look at any of Matty's videos, it'll say color graded with my LUTs.
Yeah.
This was the product in today's video, and those first 3 lines always have usually a link to something that will make you money.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So don't waste those 3 lines. And all this stuff is still good stuff, but just put it below the fold.
Just put it way down there. So like you should have had like affiliate links or whatever your biggest money earners or whatever are up there. And you could probably have way more stuff even in this description. I'm sure there's more stuff that you could shout out or draw attention to. Why not throw it in there? But that beginning, trash all this to the bottom down here. You could put this one to the top, get some Amazon affiliate links going, maybe put your Instagram to the top, build your community. Do not waste those first 3 lines. So yeah, this tells me right now that you're missing out on a ton of revenue also. Like you're only relying on Amazon affiliate links and an affiliate links to cuts right now for your money plus AdSense and the brand deal on this video. You could have digital products. You could have other affiliate links still. You could have a course. You could have, what else could you have in there? Like there's so much stuff that you could be adding in terms of monetization and just like revenue streams. Let's go through, we'll get to some other channels. So let's, you wanted to look at a video that didn't do as well.
His latest one.
Okay, so I already know why this newest one didn't do well. It's because it's not in his niche very. If you're a filmmaking channel and you're talking about YouTuber creator, that's already niching down to a very small, and then mental health, smaller audience, like whoever is dealing with that right now. Yeah. So that's not going to do it. Let's do, I failed at getting my bucket shot, vlog 3. Okay, that, for example, I have no idea what that means. I have some idea.
Yeah. He wanted to get
I'm hyperbolizing here. I have no idea what that means. And so I wouldn't click on that because I actually, if I don't know who you are, I don't care that you failed and I don't know what that means. So I'm not going to click on that.
So what would, if we, without watching it, assuming we know what the video is about, not getting the picture that he wanted, what would have been a better hook do you think?
So the title could have been like, and this could affect the video completely, but like 3 things I learned trying to get my dream photo or something like that. Or you know, just cleaning up if you want it to be specifically this sort of idea, like what is a bucket shot? That's like a Peter McKinnon fan would only know that sort of thing. So like, I failed at getting, or I spent 5,000 trying to get my dream photo. I failed getting my dream shot, but like bucket shot doesn't necessarily say that much.
And I'm just looking at the one that did go get more views, the stop carrying heavy gimbals. Maybe whatever the reason is that you failed at getting your bucket shot for, maybe that's in the title is stop, don't forget your lens cap. I don't know. Whatever the
actual fail was.
Whatever actually the fail was.
That could be
that might help draw people in as
well.
And
that, like, we don't necessarily know the answers, but I can point out that that's why that video doesn't have much of a chance. Now, why didn't this is this best double-sided mic the best mic? So, okay, thumbnail I think is not very good. It could have been better. It could be more poppy. So I see exactly what he's got in his hand right away. And then the title, I feel like there's a lot of these. Is this the best, the best, the best? I feel like those don't do that well anymore. So like that kind of titles I think are a little bit weak right now. But let's click on the video and see what the content.
Mic right here, hands down, absolutely a game changer for vlogging.
It's a good intro.
So that was a pretty good intro, I think.
Before we start, your boy finally got a fresh lineup after a long time. I'm not going to say how long because it's kind of embarrassing, but this means no more beanies, no more bandanas for the time being, but I'm tripping. Let's go ahead and hop into this video.
So like there, for example, there was opportunity to throw up like pictures, B-roll, anything that like would like illustrate. So like just keeping my attention a little bit better, you know, just throwing that up.
It's sponsored by 7 Rhymes. What is good, YouTube? Tristan here, back with another video. So like a lot of you, when I vlog, this is my setup. I have my switch pod right here. Some of you may use a Joby tripod. I have my camera, which is the Canon R6. And of course, I have my microphone. In this case, this is the Rode.
Okay, so here's a few things. So there was definitely multiple opportunities for me to click out there. There was an ad. There was like a kind of like an intro, and if I've heard that like a bunch of times, I might get bored, or if I'm seeing it for the first time, I might click out. And then also the best microphone for vloggers. Again, you're like limiting your audience to like a small like filmmakers, and then just the people that vlog out of those filmmakers.
Right.
And so maybe the title change, thumbnail change.
Even though it's the video still might be the best mic for vloggers. Maybe the title might be a little too niche. So where a double-sided mic is. That's a horrible title, but like,
you guys get the point.
But
think of it like there's always ways to tweak these, and sometimes they seem obvious afterwards. Wait, change them. Like sometimes they're very obvious in the moment.
Audio isn't crisp at all. For example, all right, I'm outside pretending to vlog. This is how I sound talking directly into the mic. But listen, I'm gonna show you guys my bike. But listen to what happens when I turn the camera around. Here is my bike right here, but more importantly, this is how the audio sounds. It's not as crisp, and
this is good that he's showing, not telling.
Showing and telling at the same time, essentially.
Yeah. Now, what you could do, you could take the microphone off. You can switch it around so when you turn your camera around, it's facing the opposite direction, but that takes too much time. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and time myself doing it right now. 3, 2, 1.
So I actually think overall this video is not bad at all. I think the reason why this video, for example, didn't do well is that the title and thumbnail just aren't like as good as they could be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's still like, again, there's some small changes that you can make.
Give somebody else a chance now.
Yeah. Is that enough? Was that too much roasting? Sorry. I think that's good. That's good for now. Tristan, you're making great content.
Yeah, these are really good videos.
I would say probably your titles and thumbnails are probably one of the bigger things right now. Just checking those videos out.
I think we didn't get to one of the questions that were submitted, but titles and thumbnails are probably one of the more important things in YouTube right now, because we suspect that the YouTube algorithm is fully relying on click-through rate and then watch time. So
suspecting, that's what it is.
So if your video is shown to somebody like on their home screen and they choose another video, then that's almost like negative points for you. So really making sure that your titles and thumbnails are enticing and clean and crisp, and so that your click-through rate is higher. Now, I wouldn't go so far as to like be fake or like it has to be clickbait within reason, that people don't feel lied to, because we don't want people hating you at the end of the day as well.
All right, let's look at my brother's channel next. I don't know if we'll even have time to do too many, but let's look at my brother's channel now. Preface this, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, he just gets views because of my channel, and that might be true for like a certain extent, but still my brother has to make good content for it to keep going. Otherwise it would be a few videos that have a lot of views, and then it would like steadily just go down and go down if the videos weren't good. It's got a nice banner, nice face here. I don't have any gripes here. I think this is all nice. My brother's probably doing a lot of things right because he's learned
through osmosis.
through working with me and all that stuff. But let's see what we can find still. Okay, so he's experimenting with shorts a little bit. Those haven't really taken off into the shorts algorithm yet, but I would say keep trying shorts. That's probably the best way to grow a channel right now. Overall, you can see, so like now if we compare this with Tristan's thumbnails, these are much brighter overall, even though he's wearing a black shirt most of the time. Backgrounds are bright, just the colors are a little bit more vibrant, I would say. So overall, this is all the thumbnails pop a little bit, like especially like this. I like this thumbnail here a lot. This is popping really well. Titles. Okay, you clickbaited with why this YouTube channel might end. And as long as there's like good reason for that, that's play the game. And now you can't keep doing that over and over again. People get mad at you.
If you're doing that like once a month, then people are going to be like, this guy.
Exactly. 72 hours to learn how to fly DJI FPV drone. Great thumbnail there. That's exactly learning from zero. Title, very intriguing to me. If I'm thinking at all about FPV, I'm like, whoa, 72 hours? Can I learn FPV in 72 hours? Because I've heard that it's pretty crazy to get an FPV. And that video has 9.8 thousand views, so like that's doing pretty well. Minimalist cabin. Now, there's a little bit of a mistake, I think, a little bit of a blunder. Okay. You can make a video about minimalist cabin. That can be like the shell, the vlog stuff, but it's probably kind of against my brother's niche quite a bit. So that video is not doing as well as some of the other ones because that boy's audience isn't into cabins. What I've noticed right now is that YouTube kind of tests how good a video is first with a little bit of your own audience.
Matty, people are roasting you right now. Are you not subscribed to your brother's channel? And I believe we're under his
we're under a different account right now.
We're under his more Matty account. So.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm definitely subscribed. So yeah, sorry, what was that? Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry, I messed up.
Now you totally ruined
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods.
Had it been more.
Oh yeah, sorry. YouTube tests with your subscribers. If they're not clicking on it, if they're not watching it, then it's just like, well, this video just sucks. Like if somebody who's subscribed to your channel isn't clicking on it, it must be a real bad video. But actually, it just might be that video is not completely within your niche, and therefore your subscribers aren't clicking on it. But actually, somebody who's into minimalist cabins might be super into it, and they just never got around to recommending it to those people because it didn't apply to his audience.
Right.
Which is really annoying.
So you almost have to break through your audience to sometimes.
You have to appeal to your audience first, and then you can
viral.
Go further. And so it's kind of an annoying thing. If you wanted to make a channel about cabins, you probably want to start a new channel at this point with this version of the algorithm. Again, here's a villa tour. Didn't get as many views. We get into DJI. drone video. Okay, that's getting more views because it's within his niche. Yeah, I think that was got really nice thumbnails, I think. Here's like a kind of an example of like, I know my brother likes the Icelandic guy and all that, but I don't know who the Icelandic guy is necessarily.
I don't know him either.
I like you meeting him, probably not that interesting, but maybe a interesting fact about Icelandic guy, like, you know, this guy really has tall. 1 million followers on TikTok. I know he has a lot of followers on TikTok or something like that. Might intrigue people more than just I got to meet Icelandic guy, because people don't care about you that you met him, and people might not care about Icelandic guy. Yeah. So like, what's the better angle?
Yeah, they might care that, or they might care if they knew what you knew about him. So what do you know about him?
Yeah, why are you drawn to him? Whatever, not just based on that. And a lot of people make that mistake where somebody just has a big audience, and so like I'll try to clickbait with that, and it doesn't always work out. Yeah. Should we watch? Let's be nice and watch a video that's gotten views, and then like, okay, so let's go with this like DJI.
Guys, I just did my first ever manual mode flight.
Okay, great intro in my opinion. Like fast pace, like I'm in it. Like, okay, I know it's like a bit of a summary, and that was really easy for him to do. He just took a few clips from the video, and now we know kind of what we're getting into. It's exactly what I clicked on. It's fast paced. Wow, he just like he learned to fly an FPV drone, you know. And even with that little motion array or whatever it was, brand deal. I wasn't bothered by it because it all just happened so quickly. The music was fun, all that stuff. And now you're coming out with the drone box. We're good. Like,
one of the products that I have been so excited to try out, but at the same time dreading to open. This is the DJI FPV combo.
Playing to what everybody else is probably feeling about FPV. Like,
I really felt
I really feel like I should get into it, but I'm just scared right now.
I've really wanted to get into flying FPV drones, but I'm scared out of my mind about crashing this guy, because if I crash it, it's a lot of money down the drain, and this box has literally been just sitting in my office on the floor because I felt too much anxiety to open up the box.
Okay, so here's what, like, he's repeating himself a few times. So it was good in the beginning, but then saying it the third time was too much.
I even I found myself, I was like, oh, what's going on in chat?
Tyler already lost Tyler. And so anytime somebody is getting bored, that means it's like, you know, something needs to change. If you're bored, it means it's not good right now. Yeah, that's like your brain is telling you that like something's not good.
That could have been maybe 10 seconds of like, finally got this. I was super scared to talk about it. Let's get
and because I didn't want to crash it.
Because
you're probably feeling the same.
And start flying. But today I've decided I need to pull up my big boy pants, open up the FPV drone, start flying the simulator, get into it, so that eventually I can actually start flying and get some cinematic shots.
And now depends on what order you recorded these, but like you could have been like, I want to see, can I fly this thing within 72 hours of opening the box? And that would have played really well to the title then. And then it would have like, okay, yeah, let's test this. Like if I want to get into FP right now, is it that easy? Like, cause people are saying it's way harder, you know? So yeah, I would have probably done something like that.
Shall we do an unboxing? Let's go for it. Got my trusted.
Don't ask me if you want to do an unboxing, just go for it.
Loved the packaging of the DJI boxes. It has a very, you know, Apple feel to it. It's clean and it's sleek. Ooh, look at that. That is one Boss goggle headset, and here's the drone. Ooh.
Pacing could be a little faster here, I think.
I think it could be as well.
We got the drone.
If I was watching this, I'd probably be skipping to find the next scene.
Yeah, I think most people would be skipping.
There is more.
Unless you prefaced it with, I'm going to show you what's in the box or something like that. I'm going to show you what you'll be getting.
Like bright neon green, which I don't know if I do, but
But yeah, I would just, this could have been tightened up real, like open box. Here's what you get: a FPV drone, goggles, controller, done.
Now we gotta figure out how to use it all. All right, so I think we're gonna get
because I clicked on it to find out how he flew in 72 hours. Not really an unboxing.
Yeah,
I think that's why you could be quick.
Most likely too, if if you're into this video, you kind of know about FPV a little bit, so you don't really care about this as much. So this is interesting. Like, what's the differences between FPV and a normal drone? If you don't know right now, and then like what are the benefits of it?
Yeah.
And once I feel confident, then we're gonna head outside. And if I could even get one flight in today or this week, I am a happy camper. Step number 1.
And so now you just shot yourself in the foot. I thought 72 hours, and now you're happy if you get a flight in a week. I'm like, well, yeah, that he lied.
Yeah,
he lied. Like, you know,
Teppo is a liar. You heard it here first.
Fake news. Yeah, you just clickbaited me. Yeah, right. 72 hours. You said a week you'll be happy. You know, like, and so even if you do fly it in 72 hours, that's like. I would have just taken that out, you know.
I know we're in the zone right now, just mindful of time.
We got to go through. Okay, so we'll stop watching, but I'll give you an example of a good description, because I know Teppo does this well. So first 3 lines right here, look at that. He's even got little emojis here to catch your attention. Motion Array, that was the sponsor of the video. That's the most important. Then I'm assuming this is an affiliate link for Epidemic Sound, but notice he didn't say it's an Epidemic Sound affiliate. I have to click on this to find out what it was. Great. And then graded with my Cinelets. If I'm like, that was a really nice look. All right, yeah, actually, I make videos. I'll click on that. And so right away, and then look at all this other stuff, like all these like affiliate links, course, his Instagram, just overall more stuff, looking better. This is an example of a good description, I would say. I think that's all the time we're gonna have to do roast channels. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut, but we can do more of these for sure in the future.
I think ultimately, like, if you really like this live stream today, I think this is the type of content that we want to start sharing more of with this new company, having this more community feel. Like, people I see are subscribing to each other in the comments. People are providing their own insights of what they're seeing on some of these roasts. They're asking questions.
We absolutely love talking about YouTube.
So what's happening in this chat and in this experience now is kind of what we want to capture moving forward with this new company that we're wanting to start and launch in September. So it won't just be a live stream company or anything like that, but this is the vibe, this is the feel, this is the energy that we want to capture through a variety of different formats, and we're just playing around with what that looks like behind the scenes at the moment.
And right now it's me, Tyler, and my brothers, but it's not going to be just that either. There's going to be a lot of other people involved. Other creators, other YouTubers, and that, like I say, like I roast these channels, for example. My opinions could be completely different from that guy's opinion, who also does YouTube really well, very successful. And we want to bring like all of this conversation about like, oh, I do things totally differently.
We want to have YouTube fights about titles and
drama,
titles and thumbnails, and then leave it up to you guys as the community to be like, you know what? I actually don't like Matty's opinion on that. I like Teppo's version. I'm going to try Teppo's out.
That fits better for me than that one.
Because that's what we realized in helping out YouTubers in different niches, that each niche, even within a niche, each personality within a niche operates differently, and some affiliate links work in one niche and don't work in another. So it's all of that experimentation that we want to share our experiences. Other creators, we want them to share their experiences, and then you kind of, with your own thinking brain on your own business strategy, kind of pick and choose what will work best, instead of just here's how to do YouTube, here's how to start a YouTube channel, here's how to do all these things. That's more the nuanced stuff that we want to start capturing.
And somebody asked, is this for like beginner channel or below or above 10K? this is for everybody.
Yeah.
This is for people that haven't yet started YouTube and are wanting to start. This is for people that have already been doing it for a little while. This is going to be for people that have 500,000 subs, 1 million subs. This is for everybody. And we're figuring out some interesting ways to kind of like make it good for everybody. Yeah, I love the Fight Club for YouTube.
Yeah, and it's going to be playful. Like we're not actually be hurting people's feelings or anything like that. It's going to be
and this isn't like we're starting a YouTube university, enroll into our like very serious like
just hanging out.
We want to make something that actually will get people ahead in a fun way. That's not like oh my gosh, I paid for this thing, now I have to actually use it.
So what we're gonna do is probably via the email, since you got here you obviously would have got an email, and having said that, you guys are the only people to have access to this. Matti didn't tweet this out or post this. This is just for you guys.
We will send out the link on the email for people that didn't see it, or if you want to replay it or whatever.
We'll make sure that you guys have that. We'll also maybe send out some surveys and stuff like that. What we're really focused on is wanting to know what your pain points are. I think we got some great insights in this chat, and just hearing some of your video questions. So we'll tap into that a little bit more and kind of keep that email chain going, and probably do more live streams and stuff like this. Maybe with some of the other creators that we're hoping are going to come on board. Get them involved as well.
Heck yeah.
So
this is exciting.
Any other final thoughts? Or I'd just love to hear in the chat before we sign off, one thing that you took from today that you're going to apply to your YouTube channel, and we'll read out a few as we
make sure like Tyler's saying, make sure to follow each other, talk to each other even afterwards. Like YouTube can be a really lonely game, even for the big channels. It can be lonely. So don't be shy. I think everybody's kind of going through the same things, whether you have 1,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers. Same stuff. Brighter thumbnails, tighter edits. These are all
channel icon, logo versus faces.
Thumbnails, honestly, you need to I put so much more time into a thumbnail now than I did when I started my channel. Like way more.
Somebody's gonna paint his walls all white. That's great.
And title. And it's like
description, first 3 lines.
I have a very dark wall here, but then you can make things look like the if I have a camera or something, you can make the camera look really bright. So it's all there's so many ways to do this. Super great hangout with you guys. We're definitely gonna be doing more stuff. We're gonna be giving you updates. September, hopefully. September is the launch month. We haven't nailed an exact date, but September is the launch month.
Great to see everyone's next steps. We can't wait to see that.
This is just the beginning. We hope we will be helping each and every one of you in bigger ways, and more roasts to come. Roasts are fun.
It seemed like everyone liked the roast. People wanting to be roast. That's what we want.
I love doing the roast. Sometimes I feel like such a bad guy for doing that, but all in love. Tristan, Theppo, you guys are amazing, doing a great job. All right. We will see you guys later. Thanks for joining.